At 2 a.m. on January 3, 2026, explosions ripped through the Venezuelan capital. The lights went out across entire neighborhoods. Low-flying aircraft thundered overhead. Most residents had no idea what was happening. Inside a fortified compound, President Nicolás Maduro heard the breach. He ran for a steel-reinforced panic room. He didn't make it. American Special Operations Forces had been watching him for 5 months. On this night, they moved. Within 30 minutes, Maduro and his wife were in custody, heading to a warship offshore. It was the first time in 36 years that the United States had captured a foreign leader by force. This is the full story.
¡Venga por mí! ¡Aquí lo espero en Miraflores! ¡No se tarde en llegar, cobarde!
Nicolás Maduro had been president of Venezuela since 2013, when he succeeded Hugo Chavez. Under his rule, the country collapsed. Hyperinflation made the currency worthless. More than 7 million Venezuelans fled. But the United States wasn't coming for Maduro because of his politics. In March 2020, the Department of Justice unsealed a federal indictment accusing him of running what prosecutors called a narco-terrorism conspiracy, one that had been operating for 25 years. According to prosecutors, Maduro had partnered with the Colombian FARC, Mexican cartels including Sinaloa and Los Zetas, and Venezuelan gangs like Tren de Aragua. Together, they allegedly moved 200 to 250 tons of cocaine through Venezuela every year.
¡Manos arriba! ¡Atrás al banco! ¿Usted tiene ningún armas? No. ¿No? Ok. Queden aquí, mira para el mal.
14 other individuals were indicted alongside him. In 2020, the State Department put a $15 million bounty on his head. By late 2025, Trump had raised it to $50 million. Hours before the strike, Maduro was photographed meeting a Chinese delegation in Caracas, exchanging gifts, giving tours. He had no idea American forces were already in position. The operation had been building for months. Starting in September 2025, the U.S. military began striking drug boats in the Caribbean and Eastern Pacific. More than 30 strikes, more than 110 people killed. In November, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth deployed the USS Gerald R. Ford, the most advanced aircraft carrier ever built. With it came 3 destroyers, the Iwo Jima Amphibious Ready Group, and the 22nd Marine Expeditionary Unit, approximately 15,000 American military personnel. In December, the pressure intensified. On December 10th, Coast Guard forces seized an oil tanker called the Skipper, $78 million in Venezuelan crude. A week later, Trump announced a full blockade. Then came the first strike on Venezuelan soil. In late December, the CIA launched a drone attack on a dock area that officials said was used by drug cartels. On January 2nd, Maduro appeared on state television in a pre-taped interview. He offered to negotiate. He said he was ready to discuss drug trafficking, ready for American oil investment, quote, whenever they want it, wherever they want it.
Que si quieren conversar seriamente de un acuerdo de combate contra el narcotráfico, estamos listos. Que si quieren petróleo de Venezuela, está lista Venezuela para inversión estadounidense como con Chevron, cuando quieran, donde quieran y como quieran.
It was too late. The aircraft were already in position. The final order would come within 48 hours. The 5 months of watching began in August. According to officials who spoke to NBC News and the BBC, a CIA team had infiltrated Venezuela with a single mission: track Maduro's every movement. They mapped his security routines. They identified exactly where he would be sleeping on the night of the operation. But they went further. The CIA reportedly monitored Maduro's sleeping patterns, his meals, his clothing, even his pets. They knew what he ate, when he ate it, and how long he slept. Back in the United States, military planners built something remarkable: a full-scale replica of Maduro's fortified compound. Delta Force operators practiced the breach over and over, including cutting through the steel door of his safe room with blowtorches. The agency had a source inside Maduro's government, someone providing real-time intelligence on his location. When Maduro moved, Washington knew. Trump approved the operation before Christmas, but weather over the Caribbean delayed execution for days. On the night of January 2nd, conditions finally cleared. Barely. General Dan Kane, chairman of the Joint Chiefs, later said the weather broke just enough, clearing a path that only the most skilled aviators in the world could maneuver through. At 10:46 p.m. Eastern Time, Trump gave the final order. Across 20 bases in the Western Hemisphere, aircraft began launching into the night. The capture team came from Delta Force, formerly known as the 1st Special Forces Operational Detachment Delta, one of the most secretive units in the American military, formed in 1977 for counterterrorism and hostage rescue. Delta operators have been at the center of nearly every major American special operation for 4 decades. The hunt for Pablo Escobar, the capture of Saddam Hussein, the raid that killed Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi. They don't officially exist. The Pentagon has never confirmed the unit's name. Flying them into Caracas was the 160th Special Operations Aviation Regiment, the Night Stalkers. Their MH-47 Chinooks and MH-60 Black Hawks are modified for covert insertion, equipped with terrain-following radar and aerial refueling systems. Supporting them was the largest aviation package assembled for a special operations mission in decades. General Kane confirmed more than 150 aircraft, F-22 Raptors, F-35s, B-1B Lancer bombers, EA-18G Growlers for electronic warfare, and armed drones. Before the first strike, Trump made one final attempt. In a private phone call a week earlier, he told Maduro directly, "You got to surrender." According to Trump, Maduro came close to giving in, but stayed put. That gamble sealed his fate. January 3rd, 1 a.m. Eastern Time, 2 a.m. in Caracas. Trump's final words to military leaders: "Good luck and Godspeed." Flying at 100 feet above the water to avoid radar, the helicopters crossed the Venezuelan coastline. As the force approached the capital, American aircraft began dismantling Venezuela's air defenses. F-22s and F-35s struck radar installations. B-1 bombers hit military targets. At one airbase, a Russian-made BUK surface-to-air missile system was destroyed before it could launch. U.S. Cyber Command targeted the power grid. Across entire neighborhoods, the lights went dark. In the darkness, the helicopters reached Fort Tiuna, a fortified military compound in central Caracas. Delta operators fast roped onto the grounds and breached the building. Inside, Maduro realized what was happening. He ran for the steel-reinforced safe room, the same door Delta operators had practiced cutting through with blowtorches. But the breach came faster than he expected. Trump later said Maduro got bum-rushed so fast that he didn't get into there. The door never closed. The assault came under fire. One American helicopter was hit but remained flyable. Approximately 40 Venezuelan soldiers and civilians were killed. There were injuries on the American side, but no fatalities. By 3:30 a.m., Maduro and his wife were in custody. The entire assault, approximately 30 minutes. Within hours, Maduro and his wife, Celia Flores, were aboard the USS Iwo Jima. From there, he was flown to Stewart Air National Guard Base in New York and transported to the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn. Attorney General Pam Bondi announced that Maduro and his wife would face charges of narco-terrorism conspiracy. If convicted, he faces life in prison. The largest capture operation in 36 years, executed in 30 minutes. If you want more coverage of real military operations, subscribe to Military Briefing.